Hey, Jason here. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to my room tour. This is something I've wanted to do for a while, going back to when I first moved into this spot, but as you know, school, procrastination, and just life in general gets in the way sometimes. Without any further ado, let's start migrating around my space. Alright, so this is my main desk setup. This is one of two when it comes to desks in my room, but definitely the primary one. And as you'd expect, being a student, being a YouTuber, this is where I sit down and spend ungodly amounts of time doing schoolwork tasks, doing YouTuber tasks, writing scripts, editing videos, uploading said videos. And I guess I'll just talk about the computer first, although I did do an unboxing recently where I kind of got called out a little bit. I feel like people thought, or people assumed, coming from the gamer perspective, that I didn't get good value for money, and honestly that might be true. Just gotta understand that, I'm coming from the perspective of wanting the CPU to be the most future-proof component, and everything else just falls into place being, basic, workable, will survive for everyday tasks, nothing crazy expensive, and then I can upgrade down the line. But we got this pre-built PC connected to this Xiaomi 23.8 inch, I believe, monitor. It is 1080p, but besides that really being the main shortcoming, it's a pretty decent monitor, and it does everything I needed to do in terms of watching YouTube videos, editing videos, and we'll upgrade when the time is fit. And then besides the monitor, we got speakers, the Creative Pebble 2.1, pretty nice budget pair of speakers, not monitors, not reference speakers of any type, but it's cool. And that will of course be upgraded as needed as well. And then in terms of peripherals, got the Ajaz mouse, same from the dark theme desk setup, and the included keyboard that came with the pre-built PC. And I'm a little bit hesitant to say that, but you already seen it, so the reason I say I'm hesitant is because I kind of bashed, I don't want to touch the keys right now because it's recording the audio, but I kind of bashed how mushy the keys were, and while I still stand by that, I would prefer a little bit more clickiness, tactileness with this keyboard. It's also a full keyboard with a number pad and a set of arrow keys and full function row, and I just really like that on a keyboard. I have other keyboards that I prefer the clickiness to, the customizability, the color scheme. But the thing is, when you got a full set of dedicated arrow keys and all the other things I mentioned, like the number pad, it just makes it so much easier for your eye, for what you're used to, not having to mess around in software to map the keys to different keys, if that makes sense, because I know that's something you can do. But just for me, it just makes sense having more keys instead of having to mess around, teach myself something new. You get what I'm saying. Alrighty, that's it for the main desk setup. Let's migrate a little bit to my right, your right as well, since there's no flipping. Alright, so here we are at the secondary desk setup, and where I'd sit down if I needed a little bit more room in front of me. Although actually, looking right now, it doesn't look like I have too much space, but I can move the iPad, I can move my laptop and make some room if I wanted to eat a meal, not have to worry about things falling into the cracks on my keyboard and such. And it's kind of a nice space if I have someone else in my room, or honestly, you can pull up more than one chair. I have a couple people in addition to me in this room, but it was just a good thing to have to set things on extra surface area. That is what the second desk is. So let's go ahead and talk about what's sitting on top of the PC right now. First off, this is the AI1 interface that came with the Rode NT1. I was looking for it, but I'm talking into it. And the reason I don't like the name of this interface, the reason I like it first off, is because it came with the Rode, so I know it works with it. It's a simple interface for someone that is not used to XLR things and interfaces and having to have a mediator between the mic and the computer. But what I don't like about it is the fact that it's easy to confuse lowercase L's, I's, and 1's. And this combines two of those, but it is the AI1 interface. It's a pretty new thing that came out with. It's working so far. It's working pretty good as of right now. And then we got a pair of headphones that I kind of just popped out of their box because I wanted a full artist recording music aesthetic, if you know what I mean. I typically use earbuds, but it's cooler when you got a mic stand, you got the headphones on, you got the interface sitting there, you feel more professional. I'm gonna move a little bit more out of y'all's way so you can see. Cool. So talking about things to the right of the pre-built PC, first thing we got is one of my favorite lamps that you can buy, the $15 Walmart cylindrical lamp. And I actually have 4 of these, so I can put backing behind what I'm saying here because I bought 4 of them. It's the most abundant of the lamps in this room, but it's a pretty good deal and one of the best deals I've honestly ever seen in terms of a lamp that sits there and looks nice. Then moving more to the right, we got this square lamp from IKEA, $30, so it's twice as expensive as the Walmart lamps. See why those are such good value. And it's not, a super expensive lamp. I just kind of find that it's ironic, but it's, does the same thing, holds the same type of bulb, has very similar design language with the exception of shape as the Walmart bulbs, and is twice as expensive. But it's cool, I got it. It provides contrast and things like that. And then talking about the other things we got down here. I got a pair of glasses, not really a pair that I honestly wear anymore because it's an old prescription in a frame that I'm not really a fan of anymore. But it's there just in case I need it. Backup pair, smash these glasses somehow, gets frustrated with calculus, smashes glasses, need something to see with. Then we got my iPad, which is what I would be taking calculus on most of the time, just because it's easier to hop on Zoom on an iPad than a computer. I got my old laptop here that I'll crack open to transfer files from my SD card onto an external hard drive that I can then transfer onto my computer. I know it's kind of an embarrassing way to do things, but I just don't have an SD card adapter for USB-A quite yet. But let's go ahead and transition more to both of our rights. We are making our way around the room, and this is the final corner of the room before we transition to that side of the room and talk about like drawers and storage area. This is really the last kind of functional area, because again, that's just plopping things when I don't need them. Do got some lights and string lights over there we'll talk about in a sec, but in terms of things that I do pick up and use pretty regularly, this is the last section of that type of stuff. And I guess we'll just start with these IKEA shelves right here. Pick these up towards the beginning of this semester. And honestly, if I say so myself, they look pretty nice. They kind of match the dark theme desk setup that's right to the left of them. Anyway, start with this guy. This is one of my biggest accomplishments in life. Not really, it's just a postcard that says I was on the dean's list last semester. Honestly, the reason this means anything to me at all is not the fact that academically I did pretty well, because I do, without really trying to brag or anything of that nature. I'm not at all when I say this, but academically I tend to be able to stay on top of things. But for me, just with all the personal problems and things that I was going through, I don't know why I keep flapping this thing open, closed, but with all the personal things I was going through last semester, being pretty sad, lots of problems, leading up to me being where I am with a much more relaxed semester, moved out on top of a lot of more things and taking care of myself. Compared to all that, I was in a much darker place. I don't really want to, depress y'all or go into detail with all that. There's no purpose really to, but if any of y'all are in similar places, I'm wishing you strength and luck and all that. Believe in yourself, faith, trust, and pixie dust. You got this. Then I got this right here, an empty box or wrapper thing of an IKEA thing of coffee. I'm a pretty big fan of IKEA's coffee, honestly. I feel like if I was any more advanced in the coffee world to where I was, grinding my own coffee or roasting my own coffee, I couldn't be able to say that. But because I'm really kind of a beginner in the coffee space, just being an IKEA fanboy, I guess it naturally comes that you gotta like the coffee if you do drink coffee. And so kind of just liked how the packaging looked on that. And so I just decided to keep the shell. Got a replacement candle. It's the exact same variety that you've seen burning over there, except this one's new. It's going to replace that once that dies in a couple days. One level down, we got the Liquid Death shelf with a regular water and a sparkling water from Liquid Death. If you don't know what Liquid Death is, it's water with fancy marketing. That's one of those things that you shouldn't buy or you shouldn't want to buy, but you do, because it's so useless, and that contrasts with the fact that their marketing is so genius that you have to do it. And I actually got a case of this stuff, but I did save 2 cans because I'm going to end up doing a photo shoot, I think, with their brand looking so nice on a can, in my opinion. Then I got my Bluetooth speaker here. That's what I bring to the bathroom with me in the morning and brushing my teeth, listening to currently Recap by Nav with Don Tolliver, and then Young Wheezy by Gunnar and Nav as well. A lot of Nav, not particularly really a Nav fan, but he's got some pretty dope stuff recently. Those two songs, definitely nice. IKEA Fedchka, the medium Fedchka, in terms of sizes that they got. Do got even smaller ones over there by the candle, and I'll circle around back over there to talk about those shelves. But you know, it's one of my favorites, honestly, because it's got the black bottom. I feel like it looks slightly better than the white ones. It's got some grass looking pokey things. Sits there and looks nice. I really like that. I got lavender essential oil in it, so it looks nice, smells nice, and all that, and holds a lot of water because it's a pretty big humidifier. And then we got a little painted pot that I spent too much on, but it's one of these places you paint it yourself, and then they cast it. Some jewelry, lenses, got a little mason jar full of some pretty nice looking lights, although they are battery powered, so I can't really leave them on and not worry about them. Moving on to this side, let's just give it a little rotate. This is the refrigerator corner. Isn't a particularly aesthetic part of the room, but does what it needs to do. It's got my alarm clock there. It's got another light tucked behind that water. The lamp, 32 pack of water, which I definitely drink too much of. Not in terms of drinking too much water, but getting too many disposable plastic bottles. And it's just so convenient and cheap because you can get one of those for less than the price of a Starbucks drink, and you can just go through like 8 of them in a day. I know it's not the best thing to do. Don't judge me, but you know, I'm working on fixing that. I got some vitamin water from Kroger as well. And I guess I'll pop open my fridge, although I feel like I would receive some deserved judgment. I have most of my cooking ingredients downstairs because it's closer to the kitchen. What we got here is, well, I guess I'll just yogurt, avocados, Italian soda. Yeah, just got to put that context, you know, that I do cook most of my meals. I do have more ingredients than that. I do not survive off of avocados, Italian soda, and yogurt. All right, so this is the final main module of the room, and this is the least pretty looking. You know, this is what I was talking about when I said this is really just storage and sticking things that I'm not going to pick up on a super regular basis. But you know, just organized. It's not a mess. And it's got some lights to it, so it's got its merits. String lights, 2 layers, right? You got this one with the bulbs, got the ones with no bulbs. The ones with the bulbs running along here are from Walmart. Then above it, it's an IKEA set. Not that you can get string lights anywhere and they'll do the same thing. All the stuff over here is pretty much set on and built on these 2 drawers, which do hold my clothes. I do got some flannels up there on some coat hangers sitting over to the left. But besides that, all my clothes are down there in the drawers. And then sitting on the surface here, we got stuff like books, gym clothes to the left of my flannels. Got these 2 Walmart cylindrical lamps. Told you I was a fan of them. I got a Zen guard, got a little IKEA cardboard structure with some thingamabobs in it. Got this miscellaneous pile, you know, stuff like this. Step-up ring for a filter. That's going to be coming in the mail pretty soon. In this canvas box here, we got some ramen, some face masks. A good friend of mine that I also live with here actually put me on this the other day. Took me to an Asian market. Well, technically I took him there as payment for me giving him a ride. He got me some ramen. Stuff is pretty good. Yeah, I got some bandanas. I feel like we're kind of stretching out of the field of view of the camera, but bandanas that were more so from the perm and man bun era, but I'll still slap on my face sometimes because I like how bandanas look. It adds an element, in my opinion, of detail, I guess. A little bit of classiness, detail, you know what I mean, to your outfit as you progress throughout the day. Okay, so I promised y'all I'd make my way back over to these shelves and talk about what we got sitting on here. So let's just wrap that up real quick, talk about the items that are sitting on here. Let me pay real close mind to the position of the camera so I can actually show y'all what I'm talking about. I'm not standing in front of it. But going from right to the left, we got a candle. Talked about the full one that's going to replace that once it's out. Got the IKEA Fedchkas in the smallest size to come in a 3-pack, white bases. Got a pretty cool, I wouldn't say find because everyone knows what these are, but a refind, if you will. a Kodak Fun Saver. Looking forward to taking pictures with that over the summer. It's a disposable, super cheap film camera for travel, if you don't know what it is. Got a soundbar that I really primarily use to play rain sounds as I fell asleep. I still could. Favorite pair of earbuds, Flyers 3, watch charger, remote for the soundbar, earbuds, and I feel like I entered into the realm of things that are sitting behind me. Those are the earbuds right there, and that's the remote. This plant that replaced the bamboo I used to have, that's honestly on its way in the same direction by means of drying out because of the sun. And honestly, I do try to water this guy fairly regularly, but it's still drying out, but it's okay. We can replace them if need be. Got some pencils, key switches, got one of my favorite body sprays from Bath & Body Works. That's lasted a cool almost 1.5 years at this point. And then an engineering project from EGR 103. That's it for the shelves. Alright, so that is it for the room tour. Hopefully you enjoyed, and well, I do kind of wish I had maybe someone to follow me around in the room, and then a lav mic set up so I could get everything from every angle. I do think this sufficed, and I think I was able to show y'all what we're working with in this room and this space. So I appreciate y'all for taking interest. I appreciate you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.